Okay, finally. We're finally up and running. Jeez, all this bullshit I had to do to get this going. Little configuration problems, and we are up and running. This is number 4 of Ardennes 2. Trying to figure this game out, trying to enjoy it. Be much better playing a live person, but you can say that about all games. Alright, so we have reached the, looks like it's going to be the German exploitation phase. When I wanted to do this last time, I was a little confused what the definition of turn 1 was. What I'm going to do is, by the way, this scenario starts off in turn 2. So we're going to ignore the no exploitation for turn 1. Turn 1 is December 16th. The scenario kicks off on the 17th. So we're going to say that there is exploitation. All right, let's move forward. Where can I put this damn thing? All right, right there. Let's take a look at my picture. I want to make sure it's going. It is going. All right. All right. So you're looking at the southern. This is the southern end of the scenario. First Panzer, 12th VG, and some Folsom Jagers as we move up. By the way, this is really small because, as you know, I'm about to click it back to 170, and then you'll be able to see it really nicely on your phones in 720. And we move up to the 12th SS area, and that's basically it for the scenario. This is still the first turn, the 4th video, and now I'm going to move to the, I'm going to bring the resolution up. I'm going to customize it. Indeed, let's customize this to go to 170, which will look great on a phone, but we talked about that ad nauseum before. So we move down to the south. Now, what do we know about exploitation for exploitation? What do we know? Well, the units have to be in yellow. See those units in the yellow right there? Yeah, they are exploit capable if they have a yellow band across the bottom, and they cannot be in an enemy zone of control. A unit that is in an EZOC at the exploitation phase beginning cannot move or overrun. Okay? So they can move and they can overrun. So let's get with it, because the most of these units that are going to be able to do that are down here on the southern edge of this. So we're just going to get right into it. We're going to grab this unit right here. It doesn't say anything about if they're DG. Isn't that interesting? So apparently DG units can... Let me read that again. Exploitation. Doesn't say anything about DG. It only says that a unit is in an EZOC cannot do it. Interesting. You would think that DG would rule them out. Let me take a quick look at if there's any, if I go on to DG and see if there's any mention of exploitation. Disorganized units. Okay. What are the effects? DG units cannot overrun. Now, why wouldn't this say this in the exploitation? If your unit is DG, it can't overrun. That's weird. If a unit becomes DG during exploitation, it ceases to be exploit capable. Alright, so let me read that again. DG units cannot overrun. So they can exploit, they can move, but they can't overrun. Wow. Alright, so let's go ahead and just move this guy right now. So he is on a track, which the track is, let me go to terrain notes right up here. Track for, it's 2 for mech. Alright, 2, 4, 6, 8. So it costs him 8 to get in there. He's got 4 more, correct? Is that correct? So theoretically, he can do an overrun. right? He can overrun this guy. And let's go ahead and look at overrun real quick. I think it's going to cost him +2. Now, he used 8, and he's not DG, so he can do it. Overrun. Have a mechanized, yes. Okay. Not be DG, he's not. He didn't start in an enemy in an easlock. Spend 2. Oh, you have to follow a continuous road into the defender's hex. Okay, I think that's gonna screw them over. He did a continuous track, so I don't think you can do it. Alright, no overrun for you, pal, but look, you've made it into Omblev, which is pretty cool. Alright, no overrun because you went on a track. Interesting. Alright, so this guy, he can do it. And by the way, when you're reading all of these that say moved, this is from the regular movement phase or retreated. So he's gonna go 2, 4, 6, 8 to right there. Okay, so that's all he can do. This guy's got 12, but he's not on. Is he on a road? He is. He's on a track. All right, solid. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12 to right there. Wow, that was some serious movement. And now this guy right here, wow, if he can get his ass into Bullingen, that would be great. Why don't you bounce into Bullingen? What is clear terrain? We'll go click the terrain button and find out. Clear, they call it open. Open is 3 for mechanized. All right, so that's going to be 3. Six. Let's just put him right there. Let's put him right there. I got to go back to this guy right here because I screwed him up. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. He was what? Right here with him. If he's DG, brother, he's only half the movement. So it's 6. 1, 2, 3. So he makes it in the Hansfeld. So if you're DG, and also this guy, 2, 4, 6. Same with him. He can only go 4. So that's 2, 4. So you have to be aware. Now, the thing is, like, I know all these rules, but it's like over the course of a week or two of playing this, of not playing it, you forget. DG can only move half. Okay, so that's it. I was thinking about pushing this guy farther right here, the one that moved into Bulligan. I could have damn well done that. So in the end, he only moved 6. I could have moved him farther, but I didn't. So we'll see how that turns out. All right, let's go ahead and get some more guys. What about this? What about this unit right here? He's 14, but he's DG, so we know he's only 7, right? What could we do with him? All right, he's just going to follow along. That's a half, 2.5, 4.5, 6.5 to right there. So that's 4th SS busting out here. As we move around through here, that's all of their guys. What about this Stug right here? But is he next to an American unit? I believe he is. So he can't. He's in a Zoc. So the Stug cannot exploit. That's a pretty cool roll. All right, so let's move up. As we move on to, now we've actually touched 12th SS, but he's next to an American unit, cannot do it. Now we have these guys from Skorzeny, the 150th. I don't even know if they moved earlier, but they are exploit capable and they're not DG. So let's move them all together. They 2, 4. So that's 6. That's going to make them DG right there. Make them all GG. Add small DG. So, okay, so I think they're done at that point. Moving up to the 12th SS proper. These guys in this stack right here, they're next to an American unit. They can't do it. Anybody in here, they can't do it. Who's being barraged right here? Is this an American unit? Yep. So he can't go anywhere. So it looks like Bremer can go somewhere. He's not next to an American unit, but he's got him in front of him. So that's pretty much going to what road does he go into? Ugh. So if he goes here, he goes DG, and that's 2. And that knocks him down to 7. So he's got 5 more. So theoretically, he can basically go right here, and then he stops at an Ezok. Place small DG. All right, that looks like it's going to do it for exploitation for the Germans. First SS was really able to take advantage of it. They moved a bunch of guys. Let me minimize just a 1 step. Maybe this takes me down to 100%. So if you look down here, you see that first SS is pretty much breaking out. They moved in the Bulligan. They move in the Omblev, and they got strong units on the follow-up coming up behind them, and there's really nothing for the Americans. They got, Cav, a bunch of bullshit. So they're going to have to, I think the Americans are going to have to do a strategic withdrawal. But let's go back up to 100 and other, I want to go back to 170. So people, it looks good on the phones. Hold on one moment. Let's see. So after exploitation, German supply. Let's take a quick look at this. Supply. Okay, supply. German supply. Supply. So I'm gonna look at this and see if there's anybody even close to being out of supply. That may be down on the southern. The guy in Omblev is good. This guy's good. These guys are good down here, up through Hansfeld. The guy in Bulligan might be the closest guy that's out of supply, but actually, I think he might be fine. Let's check out for Bulligan, see what his situation is in regards to the supply rules. Each unit conducts a supply trace above. There can be no more. Okay. There can be no more than 5 hexes from the unit to either a road, which then allows contiguous road path, or a hex containing air supply. So 5 hexes. It's 2 hexes down to Hansfeld here and here. So he's definitely in supply. Moving north, or actually east. Anybody else, this American dude is definitely going to be out of supply. So these Germans are in supply, moving north through here, in supply. They all look good. This guy, he's got supply through this DG, back through here. These guys are good. So the Germans are in supply. They had a couple of questionable guys, but they're all in supply. And then that takes us to the U.S. turn. Wow, the U.S. turn, they're going to get a chance to play here. I don't know how long this is going to go. The recordings are only 15 minutes. U.S. turn, barrage marker removal. Okay, barrage marker removal. Let's take all the barrages off. We'll start at the northern end. Okay, barrage. No, this is actually an American barrage on a German unit right here. Oh, I wonder why I didn't move that stove. But he was next to an American unit anyway, so it don't matter. Alright, so we're going to take this guy off. Now, I'm assuming... Oh, he's supposed to be... Wait a minute. Undo that. Yeah, he would be right there. I'm assuming, so it's barrage marker removal. Let's look at that real quick. I'm assuming it's you're taking off the ones that the enemy placed upon you, right? Remove remove both sides barrage markers in the pre-turn. That's in the pre-turn removal. Yeah. Barrage marker removal. Remove both sides barrage markers in the pre-turns barrage. Okay, what about this on the American? Barrage marker removal. So, stupid me, I'm like, is it the one that we fired or the enemy fired at us? And like, why can't they clarify that? Maybe they do, and I haven't seen it. Barrage marker removal. Remove both sides barrage markers in the pre-turn. That's the pre-turn, but this has the American. Okay, so I'm going to assume you take off the ones you fired, because the Germans in their turn, they have one. So let's take off the ones that the Americans fired, and it would be right? Delete. Okay, I think the Americans only laid down one. So it's the removal of the ones that you fired. God, I can't get an answer. Let me see if I got an answer for... No, I don't want to go to that right now. Okay, so let's do this. So let's see if the Americans got any friggin' replacements this turn. Replacements. Reinforcements. Turn 3. No. There are no reinforcements until turn... There was one for the Germans on... Well, it's not... Well, turn 2. Jesus Christ, dude. Ugh. The Germans got something on turn 2. The Americans get nothing until turn 3. Okay, they get nothing until turn 3. So the Americans get nothing. So, and the phases right now is movement and barrage. No, it's, yeah, movement and barrage. Let's do just the American movement here. So let's start at the top. Actually, I want to start at the bottom. That's where all the action is, and we want to do smart things down here. All right, so, and then we'll check our movement roll. So you got this 14th Cavalry guy right here. I mean, we don't really want to... He's in woods, right? Is this dude in woods? Yeah, he's in woods right there, so that might be the best place for him. But we definitely want to move his friend back right here. He's a 16. He's a 16. Can we get him into boot and something? No, I can't even say. Where is the place for him to be? On this crossroad right here? Oh shit, dude. I mean, I don't even know. How about me, and for the purposes of movement, I mean, I guess that dude's mechanized. He's recon. Where would I put him? On this crossroad back here, half, 2.5, 4.5, 6.5, 8.5, 10.5. I mean, right there is probably a good place to be. All right, the next American unit up here. Now this guy has got issues. When does the friggin' American artillery flip? Yeah, undo. When does the American artillery flip back? Right? When does that happen? Ugh. That's a question, dude. I don't know when they flip back. U.S. term barrage marker removal. When does the artillery flip back over? Movement. Okay. Divisional integrity. I'm trying to... Artillery. When does it flip back over? I guess it... Wait a minute. I guess it flips back over on the next turn. Airstrike, air supply, reinforcement. Let's go to find out some shit about artillery. Artillery units affected by blah 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 blah. Artillery units themselves, okay, move normally except they cannot enter an adjacent hex to an enemy unit. Phasing artillery units can either fire or move in the barrage phase, but never both. The U.S. barrage phase in the German player turn allows fire, not movement. In their barrage phase. So I get it says I can move them, fire or move. But when the U.S. barrage in the German turn only allows for fire. Okay. So I guess I flip them back now? I guess I flip them back? So, flip. Again, all this shit could have been written better. All this could have been written better. Flip. Okay, so is that just 3 American artillery units that flip back and they're going to be able to move? They do. We got to get them out of here. Now, this guy right here is problematic, and he's in a Zoc. This guy right here, and he needs to get out. So he can move. If you leave an enemy Zoc, how much is that? Hold on. I knew this at one point. Zoc bonds. No, we don't have a Zoc bond. Movement. Leaving combat. It's my understanding that if you move out of a Zoc, you don't pay anything. It's not clear, dude. I don't move whether it hit barrage, the DG effects, bridge blowing, whether. Wow. Okay, so this guy has 10. He's a leg. He has 10. You should have to pay something leaving a Zoc, but it does not say that. It does not say that. So he's going to go... Let's look at the terrain. A track is 1 for leg. Open is 2. Why the fuck? Why is... Alright, let's just move him. I don't agree with this, but leaving a Zoc should cost you something, but I don't make the rules. Okay, you're on a road. It's a half. Half track is 2. 2.5. 4.5. 6.5. 8.5 to right there. Okay, that's good. Let's get this artillery out of here. Yeah, we got to get the artillery out of here. Okay, and then you got to flip them over. Because you can either move or fire. And then you flip, right? 2, 4. Let's go to Eisenborn. 5, 6. If that. That's 99th Infantry. And then 2nd Infantry. 99th, and then 2nd is what? Farther north? 2nd Infantry. Alright, let's move him farther north. 2, 4, 6, 6.5. Blah, 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 right there. Okay, that's plenty. I'm going to flip these guys because they moved. Flip, right? You can do one or the other, right? Okay. Alright, this guy right here in Krinkel, I have to move out. I have to look at the situation. Okay, that gives me a good look at the situation. Let's move him back one. Okay, so he can go half on a track. If you're on a track is 1. Okay, let me go back. Let me zoom back in. Alright, I think I know. I want to put him in Butenbach, the 2nd Infantry. Okay, so that's half. 1, 1.5, 2.5, 3.5, 4.5, 5. It's right there. Okay, that's good. I like that. This character right here is going Zoc to Zoc, which is +2, right? To do that. So he's 10. He's not DG or anything. So that is 2 plus 2, right? Is 4. Plus 2, 6, 8. And then on a road, 8.5 to right there. I believe that's correct. All right, and then we have these. Wow. I'm trying to keep my divisions together. 99th. These guys are 2nd. I don't want to screw shit up. What's up north here? 99th is... They're just intermingled. I'm trying to keep them together. Where do you want to go with 99th Division? Are they going to go up or down? Alright, I'm going to go back to the top and do some movement. He's going to stay in Monschau. This character is going to stay right where he is. I think we want to back him off. 2nd Infantry. Do we want to move 2nd Infantry down? I want to keep them together. These two are 2nd Infantry here and here. So let's move 2nd Infantry down. These are all 2nd Infantry over here. I mean, trying to keep these dudes together. And here's 99th. Do you want him to go north? Alright. I'm going to move him out. I should have hit the move button so I know who's moved. I wish I hit the move button at the beginning of this. Alright, well what you can do, if you can't do that, you can just go through and like we know we've moved these two guys, him and him. We haven't moved him, so take the move off. Movement mark moved. These two have moved. Okay, and I think it's accurate now. I think we're accurate right now. Or did we move him? I don't know, but I think I don't want to defend Crinkled. Who did I move through 2 Zocs? I moved somebody through 2 Ezocs. Shit. Was it this guy? Did I move him through 2 Ezocs? Yeah, it might have been. I might have moved him right there. I might have moved that guy to Krinkelt. 99th. Okay, so let's do this. Yeah, these guys are just a mess, dude. Let's move. Oh, shit, this divisional shit is pissing me off. 99th. Alright. He's going to move down and help defend Krinkelt, I guess. Right? Right there. Alright, kind of not a big fan of that, but... Second infantry, wow. This guy will go 1 hexer right there. He's going to go 1 hexer right there. This guy will go up 1 hexer right there. The barrage marker stays in the hex. I don't believe it travels. And 99th, I want to move him out. I want to get him to wherever his... So I'm going to move 2nd Division guys south. And even though I didn't do that with those last two, he's going to move towards... Ugh, this is crazy. He'll move 1 hex to right there. And this guy right here, should he fire? I don't know what his thing is. Maybe 5 hexes. I don't believe that he can reach anything. 1, 2, 3, 4. Maybe he can. But I kind of want to move him. He's like independent. Yeah, I kind of want to move him. Let's move him up 2 hexes right here and flip him. Alright. So, is that... So the Americans can't do any barraging, and the reason for that, I'm gonna move out here with the picture. The Americans can't do any barraging because they decided to move their guys. Now I didn't really move that much. What's this? Here's a unit. There's a unit right here, 99th. What are you going to do with him, bro? Now, that's a problem because that's a Zoc, right? Is that a Zoc right here? That is a Zoc. That's a Zoc. Both ways, you cannot move him. I think he is... That's interesting. This guy right here, he's under a barrage marker. I want to move him, but no matter where he goes, can you move through a Zoc? I think you might. Let's see. Let's look at Zocbon. Zocbons all exist between 2 posts. They're legit. Right? Oh, it's got to be infantry right there. That's 2 steps. And that's 2 steps. So, okay, but what about this? That's not infantry right there. The Zoc post must contain 2 steps of infantry, so that Stug is not infantry. Okay, so I don't know. What I do know, it's got to be 2 steps of infantry, and this Stug is not infantry between here and here. So this character is going to move. He's going to move here. That's going to be 3 movement points. Dude, he's just hosed anyway. 3 movement points to do that. He couldn't really move there, I don't think. I wish I could move him there. But he'll go here because there's no. So that's 3 to go there. Can he go to this forest? Why not? How much is woods? Woods on is 2 plus 2 from Zoc to Zoc. That would be 7. And then to go here, because these are not infantry, there's no Zoc bond. 7. That would be 11. So he can't go any farther. That's it. So is that, and the barrage stays in the hex. I believe I've moved all. I haven't moved this one. Same thing. The barrage stays in the hex. So this guy right here, he can go, again, Woods is 2 plus Zoc to Zoc is going to cost him 2. That's 4. Four, 6, 7. Right? There you go. I believe all Americans are moved. No, we can't do barrages because we moved our artillery. So I think all Americans are moved at this point. So let me go. I'm going to go up to go up to the 170, and then let's go through it. So here it is, top to bottom. Here's the front. Or actually, we'll start at the bottom. So first SS, I got some couple units. They moved into Amblev. They're bringing up these rear, these guys that were DG couldn't have moved as far. They're in Hansfeld. They took Bulligan, and the Americans retreated. They moved. Actually, they retreated pretty nicely. I don't know if they have all sectors covered, and they moved. They're still defending Krunkelt. Germans really got to get a move on, but they passed all of these traffic hexes pretty much. They passed the traffic hexes. So when we come back, when we reconvene, it's going to be the movement barrage. There's no barrage combat. If the Americans are doing any combat and exploitation, do they have any? They have a couple of units that are exploit capable, but for most practical purposes, no. Are they going to? The Americans going to do any combat? Definitely no there. I don't see them pulling any combats. Maybe this guy against him, but I doubt it because they couldn't barrage. They're just hightailing it at this point. Possibly these two against this guy. The German defenders are 3, and they would have 6. It'd be 2 to 1, but it'd be 1 to 1 because of the terrain. We'll see when we come back. Anyways, I'm John. I'm out. We'll see you guys next time for the American combat phase. Okay. All right. See you guys later. Bye bye.